Chaudhry Muhammad Sarwar and his wife. Oh.
Church साहब के पार्टनर्स कर देंगे, तुसी सही काम कर रहे हैं। चार्ट का काम तुसी करते हैं। हाँ बिल्कुल। That's what I requested.
Oh, Mrs. Chaudhry, if you don't.
Assalamu alaikum everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit hoarse today because I've been traveling and my throat is a little bit gone. And I want to thank the host today for inviting us and giving us this very warm welcome. And yes, Pakistan is very close to our hearts, especially now during COVID. We've seen a lot of things happening that we didn't expect. But during COVID, alhamdulillah, our governor house was, जैसे हम कहते हैं कि रहमत का घर बन गया था. People contributed in our country and all over the world, and we were able to deliver over 2 million, I think, 2 million food parcels to 2 million families for 1 month through all collectively working together. Because I think sometimes we need to work in collaboration to reach those people, because working in collaboration we can help more people. But during COVID, Sarwar Foundation was able to deliver 70,000 food parcels to 70,000 families for 1 month. Also, there were our prisoners and people, the staff in prisons, we had to deliver over 43,000 soaps, body soap, sanitizers, masks, so whatever that was needed, we came together as a community. And during that time, I continued with the Sarwar Foundation water filtration plants. We installed 25 water filtration plants in Punjab and 4 in Balochistan during the COVID session, because I wanted to make sure that we continued the work that we were doing, because people were looking towards us to make sure that everything was done. In October 2018, I launched the Hepatitis campaign through Sarwar Foundation in Toba. I'm pleased to say today we have 14 organizations now working on Hepatitis Free Punjab. That is the campaign. And I've also signed an MOU with the government. And each area that we identify and we get a team together, our government provides the PCR and provides the medicine, but we do the groundwork. Through our hospital in Rajana, we've opened 2 macro-elimination hepatitis clinics. And through those clinics, we've tested and treated 50,000 patients. And my target is for 100,000 just through the Sarwar Foundation over the next few months by the end of the year. The other project that I started when I arrived in Pakistan was the Hunar Garh project. It was just finding an area, putting sewing machines into rooms, and then having one room for self-grooming, for beauty parlor, and computing classes. And we have trained 20,000 women through our Hunar Garh project. And each and every woman that has been trained by us, they are now either working from home, they've started their small businesses, and many of them have found jobs, and some of the girls have gone on to obtain jobs to then teach other girls how to sew. Because many of the women that came to us, they were either suffering from mental health, domestic violence, and even today, बहुत सारे घर ऐसे हैं जिन घरों में एक वक्त का खाना पकता है. So it was those people that I wanted to target, because I feel that it's a woman that has to make sure that she makes ends meet. And sometimes it's the woman that goes to bed hungry because she makes sure that her husband is eaten and her children are eaten. So those are the areas that I'm mainly working on, because I think we need to reach out to those rural areas. We don't want to leave anybody behind. And when I'm working in the rural areas, I don't look to see if somebody belongs to the Christian community or somebody belongs to the Sikh community or the Muslim community. Because I think that every life matters, and we need to make sure that we look after everybody. And I know that there are many mothers and sisters here, and I know that when you look at your children and you want the best for your child, and I think it does not matter if you come from a wealthy home or if you come from the village, every mother wants to see their daughter get married to a nice family, her son have an education, and maybe have the right kind of health service for their children. So the health camps that we do health camps in different areas, and it's like a mini hospital that we take. We do cancer awareness, we give polio drops, we do hepatitis, we do gynae, we do ultrasound, and so many different things. And I'm pleased to say that when I'm going to have a health camp, all the organizations that I'm connected with, they all bring their nurses and their doctors, and we are able to treat between 700 to 1,000 people in one camp. The other camps that we do is we do eye camps. We go to different areas for 2 days, and the last camp I had was in Saival, and we treated 2,500 patients. Those that needed a cataract operation, they were given the operation, and those that needed a pair of glasses, they were given a pair of glasses. Sometimes we take things for granted, because 500 rupees you can do an eye test and provide a pair of glasses. And in the rural areas, many people can't even afford to have an eye test. And many people fall over because they can't see, and that simple pair of glasses gives them that quality of life, that they can go to the washroom and they can go to the mosque and they can get around. So these are the simple things that can help people in Pakistan lead a normal life. And just now we were talking about moving into Balochistan. During Ramadan, I went to Balochistan and we installed 4 water filtration plants there, and I asked the local community to come together to make sure that all the organizations were working together. There are now 4 or 5 organizations that are doing the health camps. In the next few months, I would like to go and start the hepatitis-free Balochistan program. And once I've established and it's up and running, then I would like to move to Sindh and start the same program. So when I go to Balochistan, we will be working on health, and we will be working on women empowerment. Because I think it's very important to make sure that our sisters can have that same quality of life like you and I have. I know that sometimes we think, that even here in the UK or even in the USA, we never think about mouth ulcers or scabies or stomach worms, because these are the things that we rarely hear about. But there, it's rife. Every single family almost has stomach worms. And the only little bottle about that size costs about 50 to 60 rupees. And if you give them 1 bottle, that gets rid of their stomach worms. People can't even afford a tiny little bottle of that liquid. This is how reality is in very many areas. And the reason I started the hepatitis program was because we were already working on clean water. And most of the waterborne diseases are linked to dirty water. And it's heartbreaking when you go to a rural area and you see the animals drinking from the same water, and you see our children and our sisters taking water from the same area and using that to drink and using that to manage their house. Lastly, I want to say one more thing, share something very personal with you. Living in the UK, I was the only Muslim girl living in a small fishing town in the far north of Scotland. I learned to read the Quran and the namaz from my parents and my brothers and sisters. When we fasted, we invited the Christian community to fast with us and to have Eid with us. Then after that, I got married to Sarwar Sahib and we started our business. And Sarwar Sahib then decided he wanted to go into politics. We were a normal family, happy family, bringing up our children. But our life changed. We started getting death threats. We started getting telephone calls, abusive telephone calls. There were many times when I would pick up the phone and there would be somebody on the other side and saying to me that I have a gun in my hand and it's got a bullet in it and it's got your husband's name on it. Or I would get a mail through the door with a gun pointing to my head or a noose around my neck. And there was one time when my 9-year-old son opened the letter. And if I was walking my children to school, the media would stop us and say to us, do you think that your husband is doing the right thing going into politics? They would question my children, saying to them, do you think that your father is doing the right thing going into politics? And for us, it was the right thing, because we wanted to make sure that we could open that door and we could enter politics so that other people could come into politics. There were no places for prayers in the mosques, in the shopping areas. There were no halal food in our schools, in our hospitals, and there was something that we wanted to do for our next generation. Because if we are living there, we need to make sure that we set those goals for next generation. So those are the things that we suffered. But what I'm saying to the sisters here and the brothers and sisters that are living here, do get into politics here. If you want to change your lives for your next generation, or if you want to play an active role in what is happening across the world. Because until we raise our voices, nobody will listen to us. So this was what we went through. So there is nothing easy. But if you believe that there is a goal, and if you believe that what you are doing is right, then you have to take those decisions. And those are the decisions I took. There were many times when I would go to the school and I would be there half an hour before the bell went, because I was afraid that somebody might take my child away. But then it was my deen that kept me strong. My deen, because in our deen, it's written when you are going to die and what is meant for you. So it was my deen that kept me strong in the things that I believed in. So here we are. Now we have about 26 to 28 people in politics. My youngest son has just newly been elected as a Labour leader of the Scottish Parliament. So this is the goal that we have to do. And then when my son wanted to stand for the leader, and I was there a few months ago, and he said to me, Mother, do you think I should stand for the leader? I said, definitely, this is something that we need to do, and we need to do it. And that's what we did. So I want my sisters and my brothers to take that step into politics. Why give donations to other people and put them into politics when you can put one of your own? So please look into that and head that way. And I would look forward to a time when I can come here and campaign with you guys so that we can elect the first woman or the first male from here in this very town or this very area. Thank you very much for inviting me once again. And I look forward to seeing all of you in Pakistan. Our doors are always open.